Élora Patoine was born in Montreal, Quebec. Her mother was a sculptor, her father a physicist. She had one brother and one sister. Very little is known about Elora's early life. Her family, French-Canadian and private, have chosen not to speak publicly about her or her disappearance. What we do know is this: Élora was creative and curious. She studied mechanics at EMEMM, a trade school in Montreal. She played the violin, she loved cooking, and she was bold. According to Élora herself, she was wild, brave, impulsive. She once traveled to Europe alone, with no plan, no connections, just went. She called the trip incredible.
I went to the Rainbow Gathering in Slovakia, and this was a big rainbow that was like, maybe 10,000 people. It was like huge, okay? And it was a big, they make a European one. So there was a lot of people there. I met some friends there.
Les acras yoga.
Yeah. And with your...
In 2012, students in Montreal took to the streets to protest a tuition hike. The students organized a nearly naked protest, stripping down to only red underwear to march for their cause. Élora, in her unconventional fashion, appeared fully nude, riding a bicycle, with a trailer towing her equally disrobed friend. But somewhere in her online past, a different story begins to unfold. Through an old Twitter account, we can see that Élora first made contact with a man named Jean-François Gariépy when she was just 17. JF, as he's known, claimed he wasn't single at the time, so he put her in a queue, waiting until he was, his words, not ours. Jean-François Gariépy is a self-proclaimed high IQ internet personality, a former neuroscience researcher with a PhD. But behind that academic title is a string of deeply concerning behaviors and a disturbing pattern with young, vulnerable women. He's been married and divorced 3 times. In his 3rd marriage, his ex-wife accused him of threatening to take their newborn to Canada. Just 1 day after birth, she also alleged emotional abuse. But behind that academic title is a string of deeply concerning behaviors and a disturbing pattern with young, vulnerable women. He's been married and divorced 3 times. In his 3rd marriage, his ex-wife accused him of threatening to take their newborn to Canada. Just 1 day after birth, she also alleged emotional abuse. During the same time period of his 3rd marriage, a Duke University undergrad reported an inappropriate sexual relationship with him while she was his research assistant. She described emotional abuse. Gariépy insisted it was consensual.
I fell in love with a woman who was mentally retarded. She had autism.
Like, how bad was the autism?
Her father disagreed with her choice to live with me, to become my fiancé and to have a baby with me. So we lived together a few months, and since her father was disagreeing with our relationship, he intervened by going to what we call in the United States a ex parte probate hearing, which is a judiciary hearing in which you are found to be mentally incapable of making decisions as an adult.
Yes, he's disgusting. But let's get back to the focus and talk about Élora and JF and their love affair.
So infatuated, Élora was caught defacing a building in Montreal as a declaration of her love for her favorite online personalities.
What Élora is wearing in this video is pretty much the exact outfit she was reportedly last seen in by JF Gariépy.
I said, again, graffitis. Actually, I didn't know what it was about. And it's always frustrating. Got to paint over again. I looked up the name and I put a heart. Maybe they didn't want people to think it was anything not extreme, but...
Personally, I think it's adorable that she used pink and added hearts and smiley faces.
They moved to O'Leary, Prince Edward Island, population under 1,000. Élora bought them a small home. She was ready to start a family.
In 2020, Élora applied for a permit to add-on to the home was storage and a greenhouse. The approximate costs were quoted to be $22,000. The greenhouse was put up haphazardly. It was definitely not worth $22,000. There is a giant hole being dug by JF in the backyard for quite some time. He reportedly stated it was for an addition to be added onto the home, the addition that never came. Many people are wondering why RCMP have not walked the property with cadaver dogs, as there are very many suspiciously dug spots. Specifically, the planters on the property. Apparently, animals will stop at the planters and act suspiciously. In 2020, JF and Elora celebrated the birth of their first child, a daughter. She was born at home with the support of a doula. Elora was said to be a very loving, natural, and doting mother. Whether it was stress from the birth of their first child, or Elora constantly being demeaned and emotionally abused by JF, we'll never know. All we know is there's trouble in paradise. Elora, finally at her breaking point, feeling unloved and very hurt, she finally left JF and sought solace with her family. Shortly after that, JF announced that Elora had 24 hours to return to the home, or there were 7 other women in queue who would take her spot happily.
Val says, I think it's not so much hostility rather than trust broken. Also, don't you think there should be consequences even if she were to come back? Otherwise, what lesson would be learned? No, you're totally right. You know, I don't want to be too kind either. Someone who betrays your trust and leaves like that must be there must be some limits to their behavior, or else they will constantly do it. So clearly, if Mama JF decides to come back, it will have to be on a very short window. So it would have to be within 24 hours, because I can literally have another woman within 24 hours right here living with me. So there's this, and I would expect a change of behavior, you know, a respect of what I bring here. It's like,
Of course, Mr. No Accountability would never suggest that he was the problem. No, she left because she was bad and she had bad behaviors, and she didn't appreciate him. Meanwhile, he uses his platform every moment he can to humiliate her. This is a very clear indication that JF is completely out of touch, and his favorite word, delusional, is very fitting for him. JF is behaving like a narcissist. In the following clip, please look at Elora's body language. She is so uncomfortable, insecure. She does not feel wanted. This is why she left. But look at the arrogance and the contempt on JF's face.
An appearance of Mama JF. Mama JF is back to the show.
Hello.
How are you doing, Mama JF?
Good.
You've been traveling?
Yes, I went to see my family and stuff.
Okay. And now you are back with us, and you are with me all the way?
Yes, because I thought you wanted to break with me.
Ah, you thought this, and so you broke with me.
No, I thought you don't love me anymore and stuff.
Ah, okay. Well, you know, I am an artist with a poker face. You have to give that to Mama JF. I am quite cold-blooded in my expression.
Oh my god, Mela, I don't care. Me, I can leave if you want.
I don't want you to leave. I've never wanted you to leave. I've always told you I will always be happy with you, and I will never leave you. And it's not because I feel bound to you by force. I want to be with you. You're a wonderful woman. I mean, look at you in this beautiful dress.
Yeah. But you asked the chat and they don't even want me.
Yeah, it's true. The chat was 50% saying I shouldn't accept Mama JF back.
Oh my god.
50%.
Oh no.
I appreciate. They're kind of like the male friends that I need to get me back into a kind of objective view of the world. Because to me, I was like, of course, let her come back. Fuck the Wheel of Fortune, you know? And anyways, this whole Wheel of Fortune experiment I've done has turned out to bring some positivity to our community, because now I'm taking the women who have applied and I'm sending them to the singles in the regular chat. And it's working.
Nice.
I'm pairing people who are made to be together, I'm telling you.
Nice. But anyway, like, if you want me to leave, I can just leave. Like.
No, I don't want you to leave. I'm super happy with you.
It's just I don't know where to go, because in Montreal I have a curse there.
Oh.
And yeah, there's a guy who did black magic on me like 6 years ago, and since then I'm cursed and I cannot go there.
Black magic is a big problem.
Yes, and so I don't know where I'm gonna go. I cannot go to Montreal. Maybe I will go live in France.
France?
Yes.
Well, it seems like a place of resistance. It seems like you could lead some protest against the health pass there.
Yes.
But
I think I'm gonna need to get vaccine to go there to go protest against vaccine.
you're gonna need the vaccine to enter France, but then you can protest. Yeah. Now, you were talking about black magics. That's a superstition. What about people were talking about flat earth? Do you believe in the flat earth?
Oh yeah, I wanted to say something about this. You remember one time we went to eat at my parents' house, and my father is a scientist guy, okay, and he worked with, he's like a master of physics.
Master of physics?
My father.
Yes, he is.
Okay, and you remember what he said? He said, in my work, we calculate everything, like if the earth was flat, and then he made a little wink like this. Remember? Oh my god.
Oh no, you misinterpreted what your father...
In mid-2022, JF and Elora celebrated the birth of their baby. The two of them did it completely alone. Elora had only JF to rely on for support as she gave birth to her son.
Then, June 17th, 2023, exactly 2 years ago today, Elora vanished. JF has told several different versions of what has happened. Not one of them adds up. In one version, Elora simply walked away, left her kids, her home, her life, to live off-grid in the woods, alone. He says there was no argument, no goodbye, just a calm decision that he, ever the gentleman, drove her 1.5 hours to a gas station near the Confederation Bridge. There he claims he dropped her off. She had no bag, no money, only her phone. She was never to be seen again. 2 days later, he says she called him, just to make sure he had her passwords. Then she disappeared forever. JF said he was fine with this, and he was not worried about her. He had explained in the past this is the type of woman she is, a woman of the street. JF says he dropped Elora off and went back home, where he cleaned and sanitized the home for 3 days, erasing all female touches. One of the most concerning things about Elora's disappearance is that JF never reported. Missing persons report was made public October 10th, 2023. Almost 4 full months after JF says he dropped her off at the bridge to go live off-grid. Since then has been silence. Silence except for one disrespectful, ever-changing story after another from JF. No sightings, no contact, no trace. With so little known about her outside her relationship, we made it our mission to speak with people who had known Elora directly. because the more you learn about her, the real her, the more you realize. But this case deserves far more attention than it's received. One neighbor told us about moving in next door. Elora had just given birth to her son. The new neighbor had a 4-month-old baby. Elora was thrilled. She brought over homemade beef bone broth and explained its benefits for postpartum mothers. When she found out her neighbor was a vegetarian, she came back later with seaweed and tofu soup that she had researched was also beneficial for postpartum mothers. This is a very small moment, but showing her big heart, showing how Elora loved people, loved giving, and JF was slowly taking that away from her.
We really, really wanted to get to know who Elora really was, beyond the JF, beyond the videos. The videos out there on the internet of her are pretty disparaging. Even I was caught off guard by them. So I decided to reach out and find as many people as I could who were willing to speak to me. The people that I spoke to said that Elora never acted or behaved the way she did on stream in real life. She maintained a job at as a cook at the burger shack in PEI. She talked to people in moms groups all the time. She attended herbal classes. Elora was not low IQ. She was not psychotic. She was not cruel or indifferent, and she absolutely loved being a mother. Every single one of them said they do not believe she would have left those children. Absolutely not. One of the reasons I believe that Elora could have been on medication, prescribed medication, is because JF often refers to her as bipolar. He is a doctor after all. So in discussion with the wine nuts and some of the people who knew Elora, I asked what could have made Elora behave certain ways during streams, where she was acting emotional and a bit, delusional, saying things that don't make sense, and all around just seeming a little bit off. Every single person agreed alcohol had a tremendous impact, and a lot of people are suspecting that she was on an anti-anxiety drug, such as maybe benzos or something else. So we researched it, and sure enough, if you're taking benzos and alcohol, or something similar to benzos, you can get psychotic. You can get delirious. You're slurring your words. You're not as focused. Obviously, you're intoxicated. So I'm asking you to consider, when you see these videos of her, ask yourself, is JF putting her on screen to look a fool for a certain reason? Because he sure doesn't have, he deleted her entire YouTube channel. So we don't even have that much to compare it to. But all of the ones where she's acting off, those ones are still online. It's very, very, very concerning. This next clip is very hard to watch. The way he treats her in this next clip, it's heartbreaking.
Us, we don't know nothing how to do.
Well, I know how to do a greenhouse, evidently. Bring it back there. Gonna ban Mama JF, gonna ban this guy. Here. Sprocket, you are banned. Bye bye. Alright, we have cleaned up the regular chat.
From the chat.
Mama JF ban.
From the show.
Must respect
From the show.
YouTube TOS, even Mama JF. Yes, and she is banned now. Yes, it's really great that the revolutionary phenotype seems to rise in popularity around the time of Christmas.
I'll bring it to an hour and 1 minute, and then Mama JF comes back from her ban. She's in tears. So,
1 hour.
What happened was 1 hour and 1 minute. Yeah. So,
yeah,
what happened there? So what happened, and this has been edited out and scrubbed from the internet. It cannot be found. What Mama JF said was, she goes, but I could not find any man in Quebec. I could not find any man in Montreal because all the men in Montreal are homosexuals. They're gay. And so then JF said that was enough because she had been homophobic on the stream. So he banned her and sent her off. And he's removed that from the video. So I just wanted people to know that that's what happened. Now she's about to come back and she's crying. So she comes back and she's now crying because JF banned her from the show.
All right. So, are you ready to serve us the dessert?
Oh my god, I was crying a little bit.
Oh, well, don't cry, you know, but...
You bought me.
Well, okay.
This has broken me. This has actually
you are back
affected
on the
me.
show. Now,
I
be
feel
careful
incredibly
with,
sad in
the
this moment.
language you use.
Because they would just live their life. It's so beautiful, their life, and then the tea was...
Does this sadden you, crowd? Because this affects me on a decent
Pause
level.
this. Pause this. Pause this. This is odd. So this is like seeing an animal get kicked or like beaten.
Yeah, I mean, Crow, your opinion on this? Do you think this is
no PPP was
human?
No, this is not. This is not okay. This is not okay.
I feel like crying as well. I feel like crying with Mama JF.
So to recap, what did we learn about Elora? She was a loving mother. She loved her children. She would not have left them. Most indications lead us to believe that she was trying to leave with the children. And we all know JF has a very strange obsession with his projects or his children. But he doesn't, it's not natural and it's not normal. And we know that he was not going to deal with family courts. He made that abundantly clear. He makes it clear repeatedly on streams. I believe he had to stop her from taking those children. And ultimately, he lost control. She got hurt. And she's no longer here.
Crazy. I lost everything I had. I lost my job, my family. I quit school. I lost everything. I lost everything. My family, my friends, everything. Because I was...
The Real Alberta Housewives and the Winettes spent weeks scouring the internet, painfully sitting through endless videos of JF and his arrogance, his ego. Oh, it was insufferable. We gathered as many clips as we could stand, and we've tried to put this together for you. So please, without further ado, allow the ending of this video to be a very clear PSA to women out there. This man hates women. You don't want to date him. And everyone else, please share, please like, and have a great day.
You ready for full JF insemination now? DanoTube says, bring back Mama JF. Unless there are developments in necromancy that are...
Which is basically, if you don't know, is the magic that raises the dead. Necromancy.
Human bone chunks stuck between the teeth. He needed he needed a big flow of water to clean, because let me tell you, human bone, when you chew on it, it takes a while to clean the mouth. I'm just a family guy who wanted a large family with a single woman, but the world didn't want to give it to me. And so I'm on a quest of vengeance. And I spray and pray. What is there to expect, Humans have not evolved to think or to relate to reality. As it turns out, when your main job in life is to prepare a spaghetti sauce, it's not that dramatic. If you put Oregon instead of thyme.
Yes, it's for real.
It's for real.
Get really hot. The reflected rays at Ivanpah literally singed birds to death mid-air, leaving clouds of smoke called streamers. The project...
Streamers. You imagine a bird just catching fire as it flies. Wow. We may be headed toward people not be able to claim that I'm a murderer anymore because someone saw Mama JF.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
And that makes me realize a fucking woman is like $100K a year. That is the price. And I can care about babies, no problem. I mean, I can buy food for children, plenty. But just the woman itself is 100K expense on the family. It's not sustainable. Women are consuming way too much.
She's not a gold digger if she just wants you to pay for dinner. Gold diggers go after G-Wagons and Birkins, not a plate of pasta and a glass of wine. And I know this because I'm a gold digger. That's why I have things like, I don't know, land? The girl hopping into your Honda Civic to go to the Cheesecake Factory is not a gold digger. She is simply doing charity. If you don't have any gold, stop accusing women of digging for it. That's like saying women only like you because you look like Justin Bieber, but you're bald, babe. And to my ladies, if they're going to call you a gold digger anyway, might as well do it right. Life's a bitch, babe. Marry rich. Go find rich husband, baby.
They're doing some good body slams against these women recently. Let me tell you, women are taking the body slams. It's been 2 or 3 that I've seen in the last few weeks. There's lots of people in our evolutionary history that have found themselves being children, and going around nature because their 2 parents were dead and there was no one to care for them. And so there is an evolutionary justification to say, hey, I'm going to take these children in my house and eventually she's going to become reproductive. And at that time, I would have babies. So pedophilia is probably a default mode of reproduction for a large part of our evolutionary history. This is not a justification for pedophilia. And at that time, I would have babies. And at that time, I would have babies. And at that time, I would have babies.
And of course, we can't.
If you have any information on the whereabouts of Élora, please contact the PEI RCMP. The file number is 2023-1451131. You can contact the RCMP at 902-566-7112. And you can also leave tips anonymously through Crime Stoppers at 1-800-22-TIPS.